Hello, my name is Abraham Paul. I'm your passive income expert. In this video, I'm going to talk about the qualities which are required for you in order to make passive income. Problem with a lot of people is that they do not focus on improving themselves. They're not treating themselves as a business. They actually, instead of growing, improving, and educating themselves, they are obviously doing the opposite. They're destroying and sabotaging themselves, and they're not taking action in the right direction, which will lead them to the right destination, because they don't have any destination. Believe me, folks, most people, 99% of people, don't know what to do with their life, and so they end up making a lot of mistakes. All of that happens because of their character, their behavior, and the qualities which they have in their life. They're not trained in the right way. They are trained in a wrong direction, in a direction which leads to a poor mindset, a broke mentality, obviously making them miserable, poor, and broke for the rest of their life because they're conditioned, brainwashed. They are being brainwashed by their parents, their friends, their people around them, and their relationships. And it's important for them to retrain in the right direction, because if they have trained themselves for many years to follow a specific path, it's difficult for them to change that after some point in time, because they have conditioned their body and their mind to behave in a certain way, to do things in a certain way, and they have completely automated the process. They are doing it subconsciously without even thinking about it. And so that is a very big mistake done by a lot of people, because they don't carefully analyze their actions, their words, and their thoughts. And ultimately that ends up in disaster, because they take decisions impulsively without thinking about the long-term consequences of their decisions. And so it is important for every human being to do something with the time which they have in this world, and they have to have that quality to do the right thing at the right time, to get the right results, and to get what they want out of this world before they die. So before they die, they have to do something with their life, and they have to make sure that they get what they want out of this world, and then they die. But it's important for you to have some qualities which would make you eligible to make passive income, folks, because these qualities are traits, you can say, which a human being has to have in order to make money. And more specifically, it's passive income, not active income. People who are doing a job, they might have certain qualities, but I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who are making millions of dollars in passive income, not active income. So the first and the most important quality is discipline. And the discipline has to be from your own self. It should not be enforced, or it should not be directed by somebody else, like your parents or your friends instead, or your coach. It has to be directed from your own internal body and mind, all right? So that is self-discipline. And most people don't have the self-discipline to work for themselves. That's why they work for somebody else, like a manager or a boss or an employer, so that somebody is there to supervise them and check what they're doing with their time and make something productive out of the time which they spend doing that activity. And so that's why people go for a job, in order to at least train their body and mind to do a specific activity for a long time. And with the help of the coach, obviously the manager, and the boss who is supervising the work which you're doing and dictating you what to do, And so instructions are given by somebody else, and you're doing that instruction, you're taking action based on the commands and instructions given by your manager in a job. But if you don't have that self-discipline, obviously you are a slave because you're working for somebody else, because you don't have the guts, or you don't have the, what can I say, it's like you don't have that skill to work for yourself, because you don't have the discipline to work all by yourself, and you don't have that motivation from your body and mind to do that activity, because you are wasting your time doing something else other than working. And so that's why you have to do the work up front. You have to learn how to work, you have to understand how you should work, and you have to replicate, do a mock of what people are doing in the job, so that you're well prepared about how you can work for yourself without having a boss. And so for doing that, you need self-discipline. You have to do the same thing what other people are doing in their job, but in a job you have somebody else to dictate what you need to do. But if you're working for yourself, there is nobody going to hold your hands, take you out of bed, and ask you to do the thing by yourself. You have to do it by yourself, and there is nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And so you really have to figure out a way to make sure that you have this quality, which is self-discipline. Nobody's coming to save you, and your life is in your hands. You have to take complete responsibility for your own actions, and you have to utilize this 24 hours much better than everyone else in this world to get what you want out of this world. And so you really have to think about the long-term consequences of your current decisions, and you have to take the right decision, act as though you are the manager or the CEO of your own life. And so passive income is going to be helpful for you, and I believe that it often takes time for you to develop this, because you have to continuously train yourself to do things which obviously the people in your workplace are doing. You have to do better than them, you have to do much better than them, and it's going to take some time. You have to train your body and mind to do it without anybody supervising you or watching you. You have to utilize that time efficiently instead of wasting your time. But if you think about it, most people are trained to waste their time in meaningless distractions, and that is actually how the system works. System is designed to make you broke by giving you mindless, meaningless distractions, which in the form of television. They have created television to keep people distracted, numb, and they are basically making people broke by spending all their time watching television, seeing somebody else successful, and making money for those people who have, making all of those money, who have created the television. But you are losing money seeing somebody else make a lot of money. And so if you see someone successful and if you don't take action after checking their success, then you are the one who's losing. And they want losers, broke people, miserable people, hobos, and homeless people in the streets. And that's how the system is designed, to make you broke, miserable, and poor for the rest of your life. And if you want to escape the system, you really have to have the self-discipline. And it takes time for you to develop that, but it takes at least 90 days, folks, to change your lifestyle. It will take 21 days to change your habit, and if you do it consistently for 90 days, it can even change your lifestyle. You have to change it. But all I request you to do is to be patient, because most people don't have the patience to get the results. They need the results immediately, and they want the results instantly after doing the work. But you're not going to get paid instantly. So that's why the second quality which you need to have is the patience. And if you are patient enough to see the results, then you will get the results. Because sometimes you just have to be patient, folks, because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Whether you'll be surviving or alive, nobody knows. And it is important for you to make sure that you're doing the work, consistently putting in the effort, but do not have expectations, because if you have expectations out of life, you'll be disappointed. And so, no attachments, no expectations, and no possessions. That would be my recommendation for you if you want to live in this world with peace and happiness and satisfaction. You should have no attachments, no expectations, and no possessions whatsoever. You just have to think long term, and you have to live after you die, and that's the permanent life which you have. And you really have to do something which would get you something permanent, not temporary, right? Money is still temporary thing. Money will go, and somebody else will be using your money after you die. But you really have to live in this world, and for that, money is required. And so you have to do something about your life to get that money to survive and live before you die, right? And then after you die, then money will not be helpful. But you really have to think about what's important for your life and do that thing that is important. And right now, we are human beings. We have to eat in order to survive. And to eat food, we need money to buy food to eat. And so we really need to make money to buy food and eat those food items. And we have to repeatedly do boring things. But we are human beings. We are here in this world to do things which we are supposed to do, like eating, breathing, excreting, walking, talking, moving, and all of these things which we are supposed to do as a human being. But I really have to tell you that this is not something which you have planned or designed or created. It is all depending on the Creator's design. We are living for the Creator. You are not the owner of your life. But what I can tell you is that third point, which you really have to do, and we have to be consistent. Because if you're not consistent in what you're doing, then you're just mindlessly distracted by things which obviously take away your attention from focusing on the task which you want to focus on. And so consistently doing the thing that is important and that is going to help you reach closer to your destination is very crucial in order to reach success. And you really have to create, improve, and reinvest all the profits which you're making back into growing and improving your business. And if your business is growing exponentially, then that's a very good point, and it is going to make sure that you're comfortable in this world as long as you're alive. And so, for example, I would say you have to post videos consistently if you're a content creator, and you really have to make sure that you write articles on the blog. You are regularly uploading, digital products like ebooks, or you can say any other online courses. You do have multiple other options to make money, but I would say these are some of the popular options which people use. And you really have to be consistent, because if you're consistent with your messaging, then people will take you seriously. And if you're not consistent, guess what? People would find somebody else who is consistent and who is truthful in their message. You should not be a hypocrite. Hypocrite who is basically saying something and doing something else. All right, you should be true to yourself, and you have to stand up to your standards. And you should fulfill your objectives. You should not cheat, deceive, or fool other people. You should do things which obviously will help you to have no regrets whatsoever after you die. And so you really have to do something about it. But honestly, I would say that most people are not having this fourth quality, which is learning mindset. You really have to have a learning mindset. No matter what age you are right now, you really have to be a lifelong learner. You have to learn new things. You have to improve yourself, because nobody is going to give you a medicine that you can take and have all the information stored in your brain. You have to put in the effort to put that information in your brain. There is no capsule or magical pill available to save your life. And so you really have to invest in improving your skills, improving your education, improving your knowledge, improving your understanding of your specific subject, but you really have to apply that and solve complex problems which people are facing, which these companies, big companies are facing, and you have to add value to the marketplace, and people will definitely take you seriously and will offer you money to live in this world if you're a valuable, useful, helpful person for them. And so you really have to do something about it by having a learning mindset. Your mind should acquire new knowledge and do things which obviously majority of people are not doing. You know what most people are doing? Once they get a job, they settle down and they forget about improving or upskilling themselves. They need to constantly upskill themselves. They have to do things which most people are not willing to do. And so they have to take up online courses and improve their skill set. But instead of improving their skill set, they're wasting their money buying liabilities like a car or a phone, which is a total liability because you are going to lose money because of those, materialistic things, which obviously people have. People are buying materialistic things and wasting their money in meaningless things. But it's their wish, it's their money. They can spend whatever way they want it, but I'm not against it. But I really wanted you to invest your money in the right asset, income producing asset. These assets will generate you money even while you are sleeping and even when you are not doing anything. So that is what gives you freedom, right? You're making money 24/7, but you are a single human being, but you still need to make money 24/7, and you really have to work all the time. And I suggest people to work all the time, because if you're not working, you're not productive, all right? If you're not productive, you're just wasting your life. And at the end of your life, you will have to give account to God regarding whatever you did in your life. And if you're not able to satisfy God, you're going to hell, folks. And so you're going to make sure that you have to do something which God has given you, the talent, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. Whatever God has given you, you have to multiply it, grow it, improve it, and then show to God that, you know what, I've improved it. And so God will be definitely satisfied, because, you've done something. You've accomplished something. Instead of hiding your talents, instead of wasting your talents, you have utilized them to make money, make profit, and then multiply that money and grow and improve and scale. And so you will have a better life after you die. And so I really wanted you to have a good life, and you really need to have this learning mindset. And the fifth habit which I would suggest you to have is to have a strategic thinking capability. Because if you don't have this quality of strategic thinking, you have to plan and have a strategy when you're approaching a specific problem. Let's say you are having this problem, which is a money problem. Everybody by default in this world have this money problem. And so if you have a money problem, this problem can be solved in multiple different ways. And one way is through a job. If you get a job, you will have money coming in every month consistently. And so most people go for a job. But if you think about it, you don't really need education or a job to make money. You only need the skills which would actually make money, right? So you really have to invest all your time and attention and energy in building skills which would make money. And this way, you don't need to have educational qualification. You don't have to go to school or university to acquire skills. You can acquire those skills with the help of your laptop, or you can acquire skills through the internet, and you will be able to have knowledge about a specific field. And if you're an expert in that, you will be able to make money. And so you really have to be 1% better than other people. In life, there are two sets of people. One group of people would be lower than you, and another group of people will be higher than you. You will definitely find people who are better than you, higher than you. You will also find people who are lower than you, and who has less skills than you, and less education than you, and less knowledge than you. And so you really have to invest all your energy into doing something better at least 1% better than most people. And this way you will be able to differentiate yourself and have a unique selling proposition. I would say USB would be the unique signature strength which you have, which differentiates you from the rest of the people in this world. And so it is important for you to do that. And strategic thinking is not easy to develop. You really have to focus on activities which would help you improve and develop this skill. And you must think long term, because most people think very short term. They think about how can I settle down, how can I make money, how can I find a job. After they get the job, they immediately move on to the next thing without knowing the future consequences of their present decision. Okay, they do not think long term. They do not think what happens after they die. They do not think about what is going to happen 100 years, 200 years from now. They just think what is going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, but they're not going to think about what is going to happen after the world is destroyed. And so it is going to be important for you to understand you are going to die, and you really have to think about what's going to happen after you die, and you have to do something about it. And so you really have to make sure that you're doing something productive, useful with the time that you have, and you have to do something which would be beneficial for God, because you're going to ultimately please God and not human beings. Human beings are just very, very weak and miserable, and you think about human beings, they have a lot of limitations. And I think even AI is capable of doing things which human beings are not capable of doing. So AI is able to work 24/7, human beings are not able to do. And so I think artificial intelligence will be dominated in the future, but you really have to think long term. If AI is going to take over the planet, then most people will have no jobs to do, no money to earn, and so they will be at home and they will have nothing else to do but then waste their time. And so it is important for you to use AI, learn advanced skills like prompt engineering, and then the AI engineering, LLM models, and all of these engineering will definitely be helpful, because you're going to maintain artificial intelligence. And I really have to emphasize the importance of making sure that you're able to develop skills, especially AI skills, which are required for the next future generations. And now everything is automated. Most of the work is repetitive, and all these repetitive work can be done by ChatGPT, Grok 3, or Gemini 2.5 Pro experimental. If you take a look at what these graphical pre-trained models are doing, they are able to do what a PhD student can do, all right? So they're able to have that PhD level intelligence, and so they are able to research, they are able to publish research papers, they're also able to find out hidden gaps and solve those problems. So people say, AI is not able to think creatively, but AI is able to think and solve complex problems. About 80% of the code is also written by AI in some companies, and some companies 30 to 40% of code is automatically written by AI. So we don't need programmers, we don't need developers who are writing code. We can have AI doing all the work. And so people are improving their productivity by using AI. 10 times, 20 times improvement in productivity by using the AI tools. And so I feel like the future is going to be hyper competitive, and when people get to know about these tools, are able to use it, apply it, it becomes very difficult for them to find jobs, because who will pay you? Because you're not doing anything, right? You as a human being is not doing anything. Then you don't deserve to get paid if you're not willing to do anything. And so you really have to do about this, and you have to learn AI skills. And so strategic thinking involves you to assess the possible risk, worst case scenarios, the best case scenario, the average case scenario, and all the different possible scenarios that could potentially happen in the decision which you take, right? Every decision which you take will have a consequence, because you are not the only person who's living in this world. There are many other human beings living in this world. And so when you make a decision, that will affect a lot of other people. And so if your decision is being affected by a lot of other people, if they want, they can take advantage of you. They can destroy you. They can completely eliminate you from this world. And so you really have to think long term about whether you want to put yourself in risky situations, in dangerous situations, in situations where you're prone to die, or you're prone to get into tough, difficult situations, which obviously can, completely give excruciating pain, misery, and psychological misery. I would say it's like mental torture. If you really wanted to get out of those situations, then you have to think about long-term strategy on how you're going to do that. And so you have to think strategically, and you have to learn those skills that the market requires. So thinking strategically is super important, but you have to think why you're doing what you're doing and how will it impact other people. Because think about it, every action which you take is impacting you in some way, shape, or form. Every decision which you make, every single action, words, thoughts are changing you as a human being. So you really have to think about the plan which you have about how to navigate to this world, how to live in this world, and what you want your life to be before you die. You write it down in a piece of paper. You can write the entire script of your movie, of your life, okay? And so you can write your own movie, and you can watch it by making sure that you're really accomplishing whatever you've written in that script, and it comes in real life. And in order to turn that into real life, you have to take action, because action will only separate you from other people. You might gain a lot of knowledge, you can read a lot of books, get a lot of knowledge, but if you're not applying that in real life, you're not going to see any result whatsoever. And so the sixth quality which I want you to have is problem solving. You need to solve problems, because if you're not solving people's problems, you're not going to get paid. Who will pay you for doing nothing? People pay people to solve their problem. You go to a doctor, and the doctor solves your problem. And so you pay the doctor because the doctor actually solved the problem. And similarly, if you have any problems in your, let's say, your phone, you go to a phone store, that person solves the problem, you pay him money, and you obviously get away from that. But the problem here is that a lot of people don't know how to solve problems. They create problems, they create unnecessary problems for people to solve. But these problems could have been completely avoided. But they still create these problems, and that is a problem. And you have to have that problem-solving capability. You need to improve your problem-solving capability, folks, because if you can't solve any new problem which comes up, if you only know how to solve problems which are given in your textbook, or given in your school or university, or given by your teachers, then you haven't learned to solve complex problems, all right? Complex problems are problems which you have not solved before, and these problems are going to impact a lot of people, all right? So if you have a lot of impact, then you will be able to transform what is happening in this world. But I really wanted you to have this quality of problem solving, because most of the people who are successful, you take a look at the top 10 richest people in this world, Elon Musk, and he's solving complex problems. And so not many people are solving those problems, and he's making very big decisions. And so as a CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, it is going to be incredible for him to manage all these companies. But he really has to do that because he is a human being. He has to do something about it, and he has good problem solving skills, and he has got these skills with practice, with proper training, and with proper upbringing. He has got all those skills, and he has this long-term strategy. He's taking risk. He's crazy. He's going insane, but still, he's able to get things done, and he is result-oriented. And so that's why the Tesla stocks are going up right now. And it's very important for you to invest in the right stocks. But I really recommend you to focus on invest in appreciating assets, right? Appreciating assets. Make money work for you instead of you chasing after the money. And let the money work for you, all right, folks? And so you have to have that problem-solving skills. You have to troubleshoot. You have to pivot. You have to optimize. You have to do something efficiently, regularly. And you have to have that focus, that determination, that mindset to go ahead and do what other people are not willing to do, and take that risk. You might end up in the jail, but guess what? You still need to do something about it, and it is okay. You really have to do something crazy, insane, but you have to do something which solves people's problem, okay? And the seventh quality which I would suggest you to have is creativity, which is going to be, especially it's going to be useful if you want to earn passive income, which involves you to create ebooks or upload videos on YouTube or sell digital products like online courses. And you obviously have many other options, but creativity is super important. Let's say somebody has created this world, okay? And let's call that person God. So God has created this world, and so in the beginning, the world didn't exist. But let's say somebody created this world. So God created this world. And so the Creator created His creation. And that's how the world exists. And so you are right now living because somebody created you, made you to come in this world, exist in this world. And so that's why you're existing in this world. And it is important for you to create things, because that's a quality or an attribute of God, because God is a creator. And you really have to do creation. And you have to create things which are not created by other people. If you think about what Steve Jobs said, you're basically using other people's creation. Okay, for example, this laptop is not my laptop. I bought it from the store, but it was created by somebody, right? And so it is human creations which people are using. Car is created by human beings. Buildings are created by human beings. Roads are created by human beings. Television, phone, electronic gadgets are created by human beings. Medicines are created by human beings. And so these things are created by human beings. So you're using human created things. And so you also need to create things which other people can use. And that's why creativity is super important, because not a lot of people know how to create things because they already have things which make them comfortable. Why they need to create new things? Because they're already comfortable with the existing things which are already created by other people. And so if things are already created, why should I create? But you really need to do something which nobody has done. And you have to have that thinking where you're continuously innovating and to find something which nobody has created before and to create that thing in this world, all right? And so people have created books, people have created magazines, people have created newspaper, people also have created many other things. But you have to create something which nobody has created before, and you can make a lot of money doing that because you've done something which nobody has done in this world. And so creative thinking helps you to stand out in a crowded marketplace because it gives you the unfair advantage, the first mover advantage. When you create something new which nobody has created, you get that first mover advantage. And with that unfair advantage, you can make a lot of money because you are the first mover in your industry. So you can create a monopoly where you will be the person having the biggest market share. There will not be anyone else like you. And so you really have to do something about it, okay, folks? And obviously Eighth quality which I would request you to have is automation mindset. Okay, most people do not think about automation. What they think about is, how do I do this repeatedly over and over and over again by myself? But you as a human being has a lot of limitations. You will die and you will have sickness, illness, diseases. And who's going to take care of you, folks? You're going to take care of you by eating food, nutritious, organic food. But food itself is not sufficient for you to survive. You need to drink water. You need to eat food. You need to drink water. You have to go to the restroom. You have to do things like that to make sure that you yourself are alive and is not dead. And so as a human being, you have a lot of limitations. And so you have to think of way to replace you with a robot or some other tool which would do all the work which you're doing without you doing all the work. Because if you're not automating your business, automating the job which you're doing, if you're not using AI to automate it, you're just wasting your time doing things which AI can do. And so most people are not having this automation mindset. They just want to do something repeatedly, make money, and then spend money, and then die. But if they don't automate, they won't get free time. If you want to buy free time, you have to automate your workflow, automate your business, automate your job, and make sure that all work which you're doing should be automated, all right? And you really have to maintain whatever you have automated. That's it. You really have to maintain and manage and monitor, but you don't have to do everything from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the whole wheel from scratch, because most people try to do everything from scratch, from the beginning, from the start. But if somebody else has already done it, and somebody is capable of doing it 24/7, which is AI, is capable of doing the job for you 24/7, it is able to handle marketing, it is able to run Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, and I just have to make money from these ads, and you're able to make money. And so it's automation, folks. That's why these faceless YouTube channels or automated are able to make money even from the videos they uploaded in 2012, 2013, all right? More than 10 years ago, they uploaded the video, but the video is still paying them money. And it all comes down to how you've automated your business. So think, how can I do the work once and get paid forever by doing the work once, okay? So to do the work once, get paid forever or earn forever, it is a concept which many people know about it, but they're not trying it because they don't have any time after their job. They come from the job, they don't have any time to work on themselves, and so that's why they don't have that passive income mindset. They just want to work for a job, and that's it. Okay, there is nothing wrong in that, but they really have to have a backup option in case they get fired, right? So it's just a backup option which I'm suggesting. And so you have to use tools which save your time, because time is the most valuable resource. People say that time is valuable resource because we have less than most people have less than 30,000 days to live in this world. Before 30,000 days, you can have anything: heart attack, lung cancer, diabetes, or you can also die in a car accident. And so there are multiple possible ways of dying, and it is important for you to understand that life is very short, fragile, and you can die anytime. And you have to be prepared to die. You have to have that passport to heaven. And if you don't have the passport to heaven, then you will have the fear of death. And so you really have to fix your life before you die so that you can get to the right destination. But what I would say here is to have that automation mindset. And you also need to have that risk tolerance, right? Because think about it, folks. Most people are not willing to take action because they care too much about what other people think about them. They care too much about impressing other people. They care too much about impressing other people, like their parents, their friends, their colleagues, their co-workers, instead of impressing themselves. And that's a very big mistake. And so they're not willing to take action. If you don't take action, you're not going to get anything. If you're not opening your mouth and speaking, you're not going to get anything. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find it. Knock, and it shall be opened. But guess what? Nobody's taking action, so they get nothing in hand. And so you really have to open your mouth, speak to people, get things done. And you have to be result oriented, okay? Somehow you need to make sure that you get the results that you wanted, and you have to get that result somehow, okay? Anyhow, whether it's legally or illegally, you have to get that result. And most people, you know what? They're trying different ways to get the results, but I want you to follow the legal way to make sure that you get the results that you wanted, the output, the outcome. And for most people, the outcome is money. Okay, because money is what gives them freedom and independence to do what they want to do, and they're doing it. But you must be okay with failure, or delays, or sometimes unexpected things that could happen and destroy your creations. You might have created something and it would have gone, or it could have just gone, and so you have to bring that back. So how do you do that? If you are broke again after becoming rich, let's say you're making $10 million a year, you are going back to zero and you're broke. And how are you planning to make that 10 million? If you're someone who's having an abundance mindset, a rich mindset, you will be able to find a way to make that 10 million again, even after you go broke. Because guess what? You have that skill. Because somebody said that if you take the entire wealth in this world and distribute to all the people in this world, it will return back to the same place after 10 years, okay? Because people who are making money will be knowing how to make money. People who are not making money don't know the different ways to make money. They only know a job, and that too, a government job. They want security and stability. They need safety and security, and so that's why they're going for a government job. It's up to them to decide for themselves. They need respect, fame as well, and some people don't need fame. Some people want to remain anonymous but still make money, and they wanted to make sure that they don't reveal their identity outside but still want to make money. There are many housewives, there are many students, there are many professionals who want to make money without revealing their identity, revealing themselves. And so for those people who want to be anonymous but rich, this video is for you, folks. You have to have these qualities. And you obviously need to have that risk tolerance. And the last quality which you want to have is self-motivation. Because think about it, folks, your brain is the reason why you are taking decisions. The subconscious mind, the conscious mind, both of them are acting together to make you do stuff. But the biggest driving force is the dopamine. So dopamine spike in your brain will trigger you to take action. So you're taking action based on the dopamine, serotonin, endorphin, melatonin, and all of the other hormones like oxytocin. And so it is important for you to make sure that your dopamine is directed in the right direction. If your dopamine is from cheap sources and not natural sources, you're not going to make a lot of money. Because if you take a look at the richest people in the world, they have the motivation to do the work by themselves. They don't need a boss. They don't need a manager. They don't need anybody else asking them what to do with their time. They will take action and do what is required. And so you really have to be that person, okay? And nobody tells you to build a blog or upload a course. Nobody's going to push you, Nobody's going to come and hold your hands and do that work for you. You really have to have the self-motivation. But, motivation is temporary, right? You might have heard motivation is temporary. You might watch a motivational video, get inspired from it, and you will take action in the beginning 1 or 2 days. But after that, the motivation fades away. But if you have discipline, folks, if you have discipline, then you don't need motivation, right? So you really have to stay disciplined to take action. But think about it, okay? You have to enjoy the process of what you're doing. That is more important than the final outcome. The final outcome might be money, but you have to enjoy the process of working. That would eventually give you happiness and satisfaction, because that's what you're going to do most of the time during the day. Let's say you're working for 10 hours a day. In that 10 hours, you have to do some work. It can be mentally taxing, all right? It can be an activity which drains your mental, physical energy. But guess what? A lot of people are also making money doing it. And so you're not alone. There are a lot of people in this world working from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. At night, 7 days a week, all right? So 997 culture. You know 996 culture? Now it's 997 culture. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week of work. And people are doing it. People are making money doing it. And they're enjoying their work. That's why they're doing it, all right? And you really have to enjoy your work. You have to derive passion. You have to derive pleasure out of it. Because if you're not happy doing what you're doing, you're just wasting your time doing something which you hate for the rest of your life. And when you are at your deathbed, you're going to regret your decision, folks, because you have wasted all of your time working for a corporation which treated you like a slave. And so you have to get out of that. But some people are really happy working as a slave, so let them work as a slave and die, all right? I have no problems. You can work as a slave for some company, and the company is not going to treat you after you retire, but you know what? It's your choice. You can do your work, do a job if you really love doing that job. But it all comes down to your end destination, or, the outcome that you wanted. Because some people are not interested in money. Some people just want job satisfaction and security. And so for them, I suggest them to go for a government job. And so government job will give you everything that you want: stability, safety, security. And you will also get a good spouse to marry because you have a government job. You have money coming in every single month, and government is paying you money, and you get a lot of benefits, a lot of perks, and you all obviously have a lot of respect doing what you're doing, because people are gonna respect you if you have a government job. But what I'm trying to say here is that is for people who really love doing their job. But majority of people don't want to go to work. They don't want to work. And so for those people who are lazy and don't want to work, I think AI has made it even more simpler. You can sit at home, you can make a lot of money, even 10 times, 20 times more money than a person who is doing a job. And you can still earn a lot of money doing it and sustain that for a long time, because money speaks. Because if you have money, people listen to you, and that's what research has proven. And if you have money, people take you seriously. If you don't have money, if you're broke, then the world is cruel to people who are broke. And so you really have to go ahead and do the work. Nobody's going to tell you to do the work. You need internal drive to build systems that later earn without you, okay? You need to build a system where you're able to make money even after you die. So your business still makes money without your presence, all right? If you remove yourself from your business should still make money, all right, folks? Because think about it, most people have tied themselves to their business. It's like they're running a shop, they're running a commercial shop, and they're making money sitting there inside the shop. And if they're dead, there is nobody else to sit in the shop and make money. And so it is important for you to make sure that your business is still able to function without your presence. All right. If, let's say, the richest man on earth passes away, who's going to take care of the companies? So it is going to make sure, it is important for you to make sure that you are still able to make money even after you die. Most people don't think about it. They just want to make money as long as they're alive. But I'm talking about how they can make money even after they die. So they shouldn't be in the business in the first place. They have to completely exclude yourself from the business so that the business is still able to make money without your presence. You shouldn't be present all the time doing the business, right? And so if you can make that, then obviously you have successfully made sure that even after you die, your business is still making money. And it is important to build those systems and make sure that you prepare for your death, prepare for the worst case scenarios that could potentially happen, and prepare for all of the different possible things that could happen and go wrong. And it is important. People have term insurance, life insurance, health insurance, but insurance is just a piece of paper. You're paying premium for insurance. But guess what? Nobody's going to come to the hospital, ask you, are you okay, bro? And then pay you money, all right? So it is going to be important for you to analyze your life and be prepared to die, because at the end of the day, as I said, these things are human-made creations. We are living in this world because we are forced to live in this world. That's why we live in this world. But there is a plan, there is a purpose. We have to fulfill that purpose before we die. And once we die, we have the truth. Because everything that you see in this world is just temporary and fake, even including money, right? So money cannot buy things which obviously gives you permanent satisfaction. Money can only buy things which temporary satisfaction, temporary pleasures, temporary things created by human beings. And there are a lot of problems which money can bring if you have a lot of money. But I don't want you to have a lot of money and make money the root of all evil, right? I want you to make sure that you're able to make money, survive, and live in this world comfortably, and have the freedom to make your own decisions, make your own choices, have complete control, independence, and freedom in your life. And so that's why I highly suggest you to follow the advice in this video and make sure that you have the qualities, the skills, the experience to get what you wanted. And I wish you all the best, folks. I'm not tired. I'm just loving what I'm doing, so I'm never tired. And I just enjoy working. And I really love to work all the time. And I really have to work because I have to do something with my time. These 24 hours have to be utilized doing some activity. And I have to do it productively. I have to utilize my time productively. And that's why I'm trying to help you out. And if you follow and implement it, do let me know. You can shoot an email, you can ask me questions, and I'll get back to you, and I will try to solve your specific problem. I will customize and personalize the solution for you to make money without talking with other people, without dealing with other people, without talking or without speaking with other people. And these other people means toxic people. These mean, abusive, fraudsters, gangsters, and terrorists. These people are still running the company. There are people in the company who are abusive, who are, totally a mess. You might ask, what kind of ethics, moral values do they have? But these people are still in those companies, making a lot of other people do stuff which are abusive and which are taking a toll on their life. And many people, I'm not trying to say this, it's not trying to make this thing up, but you have to check out the attrition rate of those people who are doing a job, okay? The attrition rate is increasing. People are moving out of the job. Why are they moving out of the job? Because there is no job satisfaction, no job security. And it is important for them to take action in the right direction And so for them, what I recommend them to do is to, instead of doing the same work for somebody else, try to have the self-discipline to do the same work for yourself. And you would see a lot of results, because once you have your own product or service, I think if you can market yourself, like how you sell yourself during the interview, if you market yourself properly, you will be able to create value to the marketplace, and people will be willing to pay you for your products and services which you're offering. But most people don't have that self-discipline to even create a product by themselves. They depend on a team, they depend on other people, and if you're in a team, you know what's going to happen. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with a lot of complex people from all different walks of life. And so people can take advantage of you. People can fool you, deceive you, cheat you, put you down. People can even kill you. And so if you're dealing with people, it's going to be dangerous. And I want you to do something about it by only focusing on yourself, improving your skills, and making a product or service and offering it to this world. And God will be happy because you have avoided yourself from toxic people. And you have to maintain relationship with high net worth individuals who are godly, who are closer to God, who are making a lot of money, but still they're not changing themselves because of making money. They're changing themselves because they are getting closer to God. All right, so they're using money to get closer to God instead of moving closer to this world. This world is designed to keep you broke, miserable, and stay away from God, all right? So you have to put God first and make sure that you are able to get what you wanted. In this world, you can get it, but after this world, you still have to get it. That's why you have to get something permanent, which nobody can take away, steal, destroy. But in this world, if you buy a car, anybody can take away, destroy, or even steal it from you. If you marry somebody, anybody can steal your wife. Anybody can steal your husband. Anybody can, have extramarital relationships. And so it is complex, but guess what? You have to be wise. You have to seek God for wisdom to buy the right asset which would make money even while you are sleeping, and even without talking with people. And I wish you all the best. Go now and accomplish what you want to accomplish. I wish you all the best.